The proclamation shook the galaxy. Inside the shimmering halls of the astral court, the elite rulers of the space kingdom gathered, towering beings of crystal armor, their bodies glowing with cold blue energy. The royal herald stepped forward, his voice amplified across star systems. Let it be known, humans are the weakest species in the galaxy. Billions heard it. The declaration spread through the network like wildfire, primitive, soft, undisciplined. Every alien commentator repeated the same insults. Earth received the message only minutes later. Shock spread through command centers and civilian homes alike. The insult wasn't just political. It was a public humiliation broadcast to the stars. But there was something the Space Kingdom didn't know. Far from Earth, aboard a training station orbiting Mars, a young girl listened quietly. Arya Keen, 17, quiet, average in every way. Or so everyone believed. Her fellow trainees shook their heads. Did you hear that, Arya? They just called all humans weak. Another scoffed. We shouldn't even respond. They're too powerful. But Arya kept her eyes on the holographic broadcast. Her fists tightened. Her breathing slowed. Something in her silence felt dangerous, because at that very moment, the royal herald continued. If humanity is not weak, let one human step forward and prove it. If such a human exists. The hall burst into alien laughter. Back on the Mars training deck, Arya whispered, I'll prove it. Just 3 quiet words. And yet those words would one day shake a kingdom, break ancient trials, and force the most powerful empire in the galaxy to kneel. But for now, she simply stood up, walked toward the docking bay, and prepared to answer a challenge meant to humiliate her entire species. The Space Kingdom thought they had insulted humanity. They had no idea they had just awakened something much more dangerous. A single determined human girl. The moment Earth Command received Arya's request to accept the challenge, chaos erupted. How old is she? 17? Absolutely not. She's a trainee, not a representative. We need a soldier, a specialist, someone qualified. Dozens of faces filled the holographic meeting room. Generals, ambassadors, scientists, all arguing at once. But Arya just waited quietly, hands behind her back. Finally, Commander Rourke turned to her. Arya, do you understand what you're asking? The Space Kingdom isn't testing skill. They're testing domination. No human in our history could pass their trials. She looked him in the eye. I'm not trying to pass. I'm trying to show them who we are. Those words silenced the room. Even the commander had no answer. Still, the council voted, and the result was obvious. Denied that a specialist team was selected instead, 6 enhanced soldiers with top-tier training. Arya wasn't even considered. But fate doesn't need permission. That night, during the final departure preparations, a malfunction hit the transport ship that a sudden energy surge swept through the bay, locking doors and scrambling access codes. While engineers rushed to fix the chaos, a small emergency pod activated and Arya stepped inside. Not sneaking, not hiding, just choosing her path. By the time Earth Command realized what happened, she was already in hyperspace, headed straight to the Space Kingdom's capital world. The moment her small craft landed on the luminous platform of the celestial trial arena, confusion spread among the aliens. That's the human? A child. They sent her. The royal prince, Siler Valtris, descended from the upper balcony to a towering figure, armored in obsidian plates that pulsed with power. He looked at Arya as if she were an insect. You are the challenger? The human representative? Arya nodded once. I'm here to answer your trial. Siler's cold smile spread. Very well. Begin trial 1. Let the galaxy witness humanity's fragility. The arena walls unfolded, revealing twisting platforms, crushing gravity fields, and metallic hazards designed to shred unprepared challengers. Aliens whispered. No unenhanced human can survive this. She'll break in seconds. Another victory for the kingdom. Arya took her first step forward. Gravity hit her like a collapsing star, 5 times normal, enough to crush a trained soldier. She staggered. Alien smirked. Then she breathed calmly. Slowly, she adjusted her footing, bent her knees, shifted her center of balance. The gravity no longer crushed her, she adapted. Humans always did. Siler watched closely. Interesting. Arya moved again. Faster, steadier. She wasn't strong enough to overpower the arena, but she learned its rhythm, its pressure, its momentum. And when the spinning titanium pillars launched toward her, blades shrieking, she ducked, rolled, slipped between them with impossible timing. Aliens gasped. Impossible. No untrained human moves like that. In 47 seconds, she crossed the trial's final threshold. The lights flashed gold, a completion signal. Silence filled the arena, the Siler's smile faded. Because instead of breaking under their test, the girl no one chose had just shaken the throne of the Space Kingdom. Arya Keen had passed Trial 1. And the galaxy had noticed. The Space Kingdom didn't pause. They didn't congratulate her. They didn't even pretend to be impressed. They escalated. If a human girl somehow survived Trial 1, they would crush her with the next. Prince Siler raised his hand. Begin Trial 2. Activate the Mind Cradle. The arena darkened. A humming vibration pulsed through the air. Hundreds of psychic projectors unfolded like metallic flowers. Aliens whispered in excitement. No species without telepathic defenses has ever survived this. This is where the human breaks. Arya stepped into the center. Light flashed. And suddenly she wasn't in the arena anymore. She stood in a twisted simulation of Earth, broken, burning, invaded. Her people screaming. Her city collapsing. The Mind Cradle wasn't a test of strength. It was a test of fear designed to shatter the mind and rip out sanity. Arya's heart pounded. Her knees shook. But something happened the aliens didn't expect. Humans knew what fear felt like. Humans carried fear through every generation, but learned to function with it. Arya whispered to herself, "This isn't real." The illusion roared, trying to drown her. Shadows grew claws. Voices turned into screams. Her worst fears tried to swallow her whole. But Arya closed her eyes and remembered her father's words. Courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is remembering who you are when fear tries to erase you. She opened her eyes, and the illusion cracked, then shattered. The entire Mind Cradle short-circuited, sparks exploding across the arena. Technicians panicked. How did she break it? No human mind can resist that level of psychic pressure. This is impossible. Arya stood calmly in the center, unharmed. Prince Siler's jaw clenched. "Fine," he said coldly. "Then let her face something physical." He pointed at the arena floor. Trial 3. Release the Titan-class Guardian. The ground trembled. A mech 8 meters tall rose from beneath the platform. Armor glowing, arms ending in plasma cannons, hydraulics screaming with power. The crowd roared. That's it. She's done. No human can even dent a Titan Guardian. They finally found her limit. Arya didn't run. She watched. The mech fired. Not at her, but the ground near her feet, forcing her to jump. She noticed something that had delayed at a slight stutter between its targeting and its firing. "Your sensors lag," she murmured. The mech charged forward like a rolling mountain. Arya sprinted toward it. Aliens gasped. She's running toward it? She's going to be crushed. But Arya wasn't aiming for its fists. She was aiming for its back panel, the same type of maintenance hatch humans use in robotics. She slid under its arm, grabbed a cable on its frame, and climbed with speed that terrified even the soldiers watching. The mech thrashed, trying to throw her off, but she reached the sensory core and ripped out the main optical relay. The giant mech collapsed like a puppet with its strings cut. The arena shook with silence. Then someone whispered, "She defeated a Titan Guardian with her bare hands." "No," another corrected. "She defeated it with human creativity." Prince Siler's face hardened. "Enough," he snapped. "Begin Trial 4, the Hall of Isolation." The arena opened like a flower made of shadows. Inside was nothing, and no sound, and no light, and oh warmth devoid meant to break the soul. Arya stepped in. The door sealed behind her. For a moment, the crowd believed they finally had her. Humans were social creatures. They needed sound, light, connection. Minutes passed. Then more, a full hour. Aliens began to whisper nervously. No life signs dropping. How is she staying stable? She should be hallucinating. Inside the void, Arya sat quietly, her heartbeat steady, her breathing calm. Humans were born into chaos, into noise, but silence gave them room to think. She meditated, focused, learned the rhythm of her own heartbeat that by the time the doors opened, she stepped out as if she'd simply taken a short rest. Prince Eiler's hands tightened into fists. Every trial built to break her had failed. Every weakness they expected had become a human strength. And for the first time, the Space Kingdom realized. This girl wasn't representing humans. She was revealing them. The arena lights dimmed until only a single blue flame burned at the center. Every alien in the stands went silent. Even the royal guards stiffened in fear, because Prince Eiler had ordered something forbidden: activate the trial of domination. Gasps echoed across the balconies. No, she'll die. No challenger has survived that in 400 years. This isn't a trial. It's an execution. Siler ignored them all. His voice was cold, sharp as a blade. She has beaten every test meant for warriors. Now let us see if she can face a weapon made for gods. The arena split apart, revealing a deep abyss filled with swirling black mist. Alive, hungry, whispering like a billion tortured souls, chains of obsidian rose from the pit, rattling with a life of their own. Arya stepped forward, her expression unreadable. "What is this place?" she asked quietly. Siler answered. "The Chamber of Dominion. A psychic forge that breaks willpower, erases identity, and crushes the spirit until nothing remains. Even kings have bowed in this place." The chain snapped toward Arya. The trial began. The weapon that breaks the mist wrapped around her legs first, cold, suffocating, filled with voices that didn't belong to this universe. "You are weak. You are alone. You are nothing." The obsidian chains wrapped around her arms, her chest, her throat. Arya collapsed to her knees. The aliens nodded. There it is. The human breaks here. No one can fight the Dominion chains. But they didn't understand humans, and no matter how strong a weapon is, it cannot erase endurance carved through thousands of years of survival. Arya felt her thoughts breaking apart, fear clawing at her mind, memories drowning under the weight of the chains. And then she heard a different voice, her own. "You have survived everything life threw at you. Why stop here?" A spark ignited in her chest. Her lungs burned. Her muscles screamed. Her vision blurred. But she pushed. She wasn't fighting the chains. She was fighting the idea that she could be controlled. She whispered, "I choose who I am." The chains cracked. The mist recoiled. Siler's eyes widened. No, that's not possible." Arya stood. Her legs shook, but she rose anyway, slowly, painfully, but defiantly. The chains gripped tighter. She roared a human roar, raw, furious, unstoppable. The arena trembled. The abyss shuddered. And then, shatter. The obsidian chains exploded into dust. The Dominion mist evaporated like smoke fleeing a wildfire. Silence. Not a sound existed in the entire arena. A teenager, an unenhanced human girl, had just destroyed a weapon that once conquered worlds. A fear they never... The court stared at her with wide eyes. How did she do that? She overcame Dominion without psionics? This is terrifying, because this wasn't strength or training or talent. This was the human spirit, the one thing no alien empire ever truly understood. Siler descended to the arena floor, unable to hide the tremor in his voice. "You crushed our strongest test." Arya wiped the dust of the shattered chains from her hands. "You call humans weak," she said, "but you never tested our muscles. You never tested our minds." She stepped closer, eyes burning with quiet fire. "You tested our will, and you lost." Siler felt something he hadn't felt since childhood. Fear, not of Arya herself, but of what humanity might become. The final trial, as he took a step back. Enough. Prepare the final test. But even as he spoke, the court was whispering. She cannot be beaten. She is more than human. No, she is exactly human. That is the problem. Arya walked to the center of the arena, ready for whatever came next. She had survived the trial that killed kings. Now she would face the last test, not to win, but to show the universe the truth. Humans are not the weak ones. They're the most dangerous species alive. The arena transformed for the final time. Massive stone pillars rose from the ground, Starforge banners unfurled overhead, the thunderstorm of raw cosmic energy swirled above the dome. This was no longer a trial. This was a coronation ground, the place where conquerors were crowned and dynasties rose. Prince Sylar stepped forward, removing his obsidian cape. "The final trial," he announced, his voice trembling despite his effort to hide it, "is royal combat." The crowd erupted in shock. Royal combat? Against a human? That's a death match. But the prince cannot lose, can he? Sylar activated his armor. Dark plates shifted over his skin like liquid metal. "You have proven endurance," he said. "You have proven mind, spirit, and will. Now show me your strength." Arya's expression didn't change, but her presence did. She wasn't afraid. Not anymore, because after everything she survived, facing a prince was almost simple. The duel that changed the next where the battle began with a blast of cosmic force. Sylar moved like a storm incarnate. Every step a shockwave, every strike a hypercharged burst of kinetic energy. Arya dodged the first 3 attacks, barely. The fourth caught her shoulder, sending her skidding across the platform. Aliens cheered. "There! She's finally breaking. The prince is overpowering her." But humans had a secret the kingdom forgot. When humans fall, they get back up stronger. Arya steadied herself, her shoulder throbbed, but her eyes sharpened. "You fight like someone who's always won," she said. "That means you've never learned what losing feels like." Sylar snarled and rushed again. Arya didn't meet his strength. She used technique. She watched the pattern of his steps, the timing of his strikes, the half-second cooldown in his armor when he used maximum force. She moved inside his guard, closer than any opponent ever dared. His armor couldn't strike at that range. She grabbed the small joint behind his knee, the same mechanical weakness the Titan Guardian had, and she pulled. The prince dropped to one knee, stunned. The crowd gasped. Arya stepped in front of him. "You fight with power," she said quietly. "We fight with adaptation." She struck the center of his armor with a precise blow. Not to break it, but to overload the energy regulator. Sparks burst across Sylar's suit, his armor shut down. And for the first time in his life, Prince Sylar was truly vulnerable. Arya stood over him. Not triumphant, not cruel, just human. She held out a hand. "Stand. I'm not here to humiliate you. I'm here to show you what humans are." Sylar looked up at her, breath shaking. "You're stronger than any warrior I've faced." Arya shook her head. "No, I'm not the strongest human. I'm just the one who answered your challenge." The moment the space kingdom of his silence filled the arena. Then, one of the royal advisors stepped forward and knelt. The crowd stared. Then another alien knelt. Then another. Within seconds, the entire arena floor was bowing, not to Sylar, but to Arya. The prince himself lowered his head. "Human," he said solemnly, "you have defeated our trials, our machines, our illusions, and me. You have proven what we denied." He placed a fist to his chest. The Space Kingdom recognizes humanity as a sovereign, unbreakable species. Arya exhaled slowly. Her mission was never to win glory. She just wanted the truth known. "We aren't perfect," she said softly, "but we don't give up. Ever." The crowd roared, not in anger, but in respect. Across the galaxy, species who once mocked humans now watched in awe and fear. The Space Kingdom's insult had sparked something unstoppable. A single human girl had changed the balance of power. And when she left the arena, stepping into the sunlight of a new era, she whispered, "Humans were never weak. We were just waiting for someone to notice." The galaxy would never forget her name. Arya Keen, the human who made an empire kneel.